Hey, how's it going? So we're going to be looking at the second part of my 3-part series. This is the, I would say, intermediate version of the bomb loops. It's going into Clayton Chapman's 5H bomb loop, which is definitely harder. And the reason why it's harder than this one is this gives you a little bit more lenient, a little bit easier on some of the frames, but it will give you a fantastic base foundation to setting up for the final thing, and it'll make the first sequence combo even easier as well if you can learn it. If you can learn this one and you can get this one down, it'll make the one before it in the first video seem even easier, which is fantastic, especially going into games, because that one is so good. And if it's made even easier because you've upped your execution level, you're upped your game, then brilliant. One of the things I will say about this is there's a lot of just practice that goes into some of this. There's no sort of super secret hidden trick, or I'll try my best to break it down how I've done it over the hours that I've been practicing. But again, there is going to be a little bit of blood, sweat and tears just sort of eking some of this stuff out. So again, as the title of the video implies, it's going to be a Superdash starter, and then from there you're going to want to do 5L into 2S into 5S pretty much as fast as possible. You'll notice there's a little bit of mash from me there. I'm not known as a masher, but you're better off just mashing that out as fast as possible, and that'll really help. And then you're going to go into the hard bit, and this is the sort of dash forward into the light jab. And the reason why that's so difficult is you have to sort of slide and then do the jab. So you're sliding into the DMs and then you're doing the light. And I recommend you do the light punch sort of 3/4 of the way, and you do the slide by doing forward, holding the second forward. So forward, then forward, but holding, and then obviously going for the jab. And you should make things a little bit easier on you, although it's still not like the easiest thing in the world. Again, with this one, it's just really difficult to link the kick. Much more difficult than the first combo that I showed. Everything needs to be tight, but if you can learn it this way, it will make the other version seem like a walk in the park, and that's brilliant. Like, why not? Like, you might never have to bust this out in a game, although I will say that the damage is really strong for a super dash conversion, especially off a light. But ultimately, you might. If it tightens up your execution in other ways, then brilliant. So that's the full screen conversion. You don't have to do heavy kick as well. You can do sort of just a medium 2-3-6-M at the end, and then you can just sort of put them in the corner that way. You don't have to do the heavy version, but if you are doing the heavy version, remember it's super dash just into straight heavy smash instantly, nothing else, or they'll drop out. So let's have a look at the mid-screen version of this. It's the exact same thing, except for you're gonna do bombs instead of super dash, and then just basically just like a magic series afterwards, and then 3.5k as you can see here, 1 bar, 4.4k, 1 bar from a super dash. Okay, so again, the conversion is the same there. There's not anything different than I've said. Sliding into the thing. The one thing I will say is when you're doing this series, if you're doing the 3 bombs and you're going into the I don't know why this is failing, and you're going into this, you want to super dash kind of a little bit earlier. And the reason why, and this goes into the final video as well, the hard video, is when you're doing triple bombs, you want to make sure that you're quite high in the air, because the lower you are, like, the bombs won't come out. Like, you need to be at a certain height, so don't be afraid to be quite high up in the air with this one. You don't need to be low to the ground, because you're not looking to land quickly to do the flying kick. You're already in the air, and the bombs are helping juggle your opponent as you're on the way down. So there's just a little quick of a tip basically to get that going. If you're a bit too far away from the corner, you can just do the full screen version. If you're too close to the corner, you can end in his aerial kicks if you want, or you can just end in a bog standard like magic series and you know, meet them with a bomb or something, or just go down. Essentially, you know, there's a lot of room for maneuver there. This is just to give you ideas to branch off of and sort of get better with. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. The hard version, the sort of the Big Daddy version from Clayton Chapman, will be coming soon. The guy is a genius. When I break down the video, you'll be like, how on earth did this guy come with this? But he's just very clever when it comes to these things. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the content, and I'll see you next time.